Well, I just turned on the game 2 of the NLCS, and I saw Corbin Carroll, and it got the synapses firing again. Who would you be willing to give up to acquire that dude and put him in a Rays uniform?
And we're going to talk about that and much more about the reinventing MLB playoffs, according to Kevin Weiss, starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on all the podcasting platforms and on social media. And email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Speaking of social media, it is something we will be doing throughout the course of the offseason, is reaching out to the listeners out there and getting their takes and observations on various topics that we bring forth. And one of those was, what or who would you be willing to trade to bring Corbin Carroll into a Rays uniform? Ulises, towards the end of yesterday's show, you threw out a possibility. Hey, why not Taj Bradley, Shane Baz, and Junior Caminero? Would that be enough to acquire Corbin Carroll? And if it is, are you okay with doing that as a Rays fan? So we put that out there. And you did the research of putting together the baseball trade values, saying that it's actually an underpayment for the Rays. Baz, Bradley, Caminero may or would not be enough to get Corbin Carroll in a Rays uniform. And with all that, we had the poll tied in that 13% say, no, that's not enough of a deal for Corbin Carroll. 27% say, yes, he's an MVP talent. Let's go ahead and pull that off. 20% say, change one name and it's a deal. And 40% say, no way, can't do it. Can't trade a combination of those three for Corbin Carroll.
And I think that's how most polls will be looking when you're asking Rays fans. Every fandom treats their prospects differently. There has been a shift towards more prospect hugging in the whole industry, in every fandom in the last 10 years or so. But when you are a small market team, it does make sense to hear 40% of people say, no way, I'm not trading three guys that could be a star for one MVP talent, which to me, honestly, that's banana sandwich crazy.
And not just an MVP talent, but an MVP talent that's 22, 23 years old. This isn't an MVP talent that just turned 35.
No. He's 23. I mean, he still has pores on his face that have yet to have facial hair, and that will soon have facial hair. I understand the prospect hugging by Rays fans, and that's just going to happen. That's just going to be a trait of our fandom. I don't particularly sign up for that because I know a lot of other prospects that were supposed to be the big deal. And I know we've had this conversation many times before, and I will always bring it up just to make my point. I once told my father, I said, Rid Brignac is going to be better than Derek Jeter. Just watch out. Well, Rid Brignac was not better than Derek Jeter at any facet of the game, and I think that I can say that with quite a lot of confidence, Kevin.
Yeah, and I think with pitchers, more so if we're talking about Baz and Bradley incorporated into a deal with the rise of injuries and setbacks, that's even a bigger risk that you'd be taking. If you're the Diamondbacks and accepting that deal. I mean, we all know about the history that Brennan McKay is going through, Shane McClanahan's going through right now. Luis Patino, what happened to that guy? So there's a bust factor there for sure.
And a couple of those names could still have fantastic careers, and this could just be a blip. So let me go back even further for those that are still like, no, man, you don't know. Okay. I remember when Jeremy Hellickson was supposed to be the next big thing, and he was for a little bit. Rookie of the year, never forget. But did Jeremy Hellickson thank you. Did Jeremy Hellickson become the next big thing? No. Matt Moore was supposed to be the next big thing. Did he become that? No, he did not. Chris Archer was supposed to be the next big thing. Did these three guys have great careers? I think so. I think a majority, 99.99% of baseball players would sign up for any of those careers, Moore, Archers, or Hellicksons. But with the prospect pedigree that they were supposed to have, it did not pan out that way. So I want Taj Bradley to be successful. I want Shane Boss to be successful. I want Junior Caminero to be successful. But when people just put so much emphasis on prospects due to just basically hope and just kind of taking away the fact that it's really difficult to be a very productive major league player for multiple years, and there's a guy who is now shown that he is just an MVP in his 23-year season. I find it kind of ridiculous that 40% of people give me 25, give me 20%, but the fact that 40% of people from that poll said no way. You guys, I would like to be trying whatever you're trying.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And we do have some listener comments to get to on this besides the results of the poll. But first, we have to remind you that October baseball is back, and you can make your postseason debut with FanDuel. They are America's #1 sportsbook. Join FanDuel today, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON, to create your new account. Then you can get in on all the great action from the very first pitch until the very final out. Bet on everything from strikeouts to home runs to who will actually win the dang game. And if you don't want to wait the whole game to get a W, well, here's what you can do. You can predict what will happen in the next at-bat with something called quick bets. Really cool feature there. So don't waste your time. Just head on over to FanDuel.com/lockedon right now. Step up to the plate this postseason with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right, running through some comments here on the Corbin Carroll hypothesis. Robert O'Brien says, I'd like to keep Caminero and offer another top prospect for Carroll. Well, of course we would, but I don't think that would be an option in this case. In fact, if we're just going by baseball trade values and maybe just common sense approach, it might take another not as big of a prospect as Caminero, but it'd have to be some kind of throw-in type like Dominic Keegan or something of that ilk.
Again, we said it yesterday. It has to hurt you as a Rays fan to give up, because we can't just say Kevin Padla and Vidal Brujan and here you go, give us Corbin Carroll. Like, this is not MLB The Show. I feel like a lot of people have played too much MLB The Show. And what's that? You know this better than I do. What's the setting that you can tell the computer to basically like accept any trade?
Yeah, there is a setting on there where there's like no cap on, you can offer a ham sandwich for Ronald Acuna and that deal will be accepted.
Right. Like I feel like a lot of people have that setting on.
Like no holds barred MLB The Show. Yeah, that's basically what's happening here. Again, it needs to make you feel like you almost lost the deal when you're acquiring a Corbin Carroll-esque player.
Yes.
You need to feel kind of yucky and icky about it, and maybe have second and third thoughts about making that maneuver. But that's how deals get done at the end of the day.
Yeah. Again, guys, what is the trade that we are always referencing as Rays fans in the last 5 years? The 3-for-1 Archer trade. You get Glass now, you got Meadows, you get Boss. Like, now, have they all lived up to their promise? No. Is it still highway robbery? 100% yes. I bet that there was some feeling in there, like, should we do this? Should we not do this? Like, that's the kind of feeling that you want. And by the way, like, not to be too negative, and I again hope the best for Bradley, Boz, and Caminero, but I'm sure that, Meadows, Glasnow, and Boz,
Yeah.
I mean, have they lived up really to what we all thought? I mean, really though, let's is Glasnow the guy that you thought he was going to be?
They've definitely gotten more value than what Chris Archer provided in ensuing years for him. But I think we did have higher, grander expectations based on what the small samples that we saw from Glasnow and Meadows, that we thought, because Meadows had that one or multiple really, really good seasons, that he was going to put that up in perpetuity.
Now again, that trade tree kept going by giving you Isaac Paredes. So again, good trade. It's a good trade. But all I'm saying is
Glasnow is probably going to net you something down the line as well.
Exactly. So I just wanted to say that, just because I feel like we get too enamored with the prospects, what could be. And okay, this person, what was the name of the person that commented?
That was Robert O'Brien.
Robert O'Brien. He says, I would like to see what Caminero does. Me too. So, okay, you know what? Let's keep playing with this scenario. You want to keep Caminero. Let's keep Caminero. Then you better give up 2 big names now. Yeah, Is it Meade and Aranda?
Curtis Meade. Curtis Meade has to be included in that deal.
Exactly. Now there's no Manzardo anymore. So you're got to give up Meade now. And after Meade, they're going to ask for something else, because Meade does not equal Caminero right now.
Right. No, you're right on that end. So that's one comment. Argenis Rashad, our buddy, says we need a plan B on who will be the face of the franchise just in case Wander doesn't come back. Corbin could be that guy. That is true. Talk about a little twist and turn here. If Wander, and I'm just popping this off the top of my head, if Wander is allowed to play essentially immediately or at some point in the near future, would you trade Wander Franco for Corbin Carroll straight up, considering all the circumstances of the clubhouse dynamics and the marketing dynamics and the fan base dynamics, everything that is involved with that, and that the Rays have gone through with that of, hey, maybe we just want to, quote unquote, wash our hands of the situation. And heck, it might even take more than Wander Franco at this point with, again, I don't know. I mean, it's
again, go the other way. If you're the Diamondbacks, are you trading Corbin Carroll for Wander Franco straight up? Nah, fam, because now we have all of that negativity in our market, in our system, in our clubhouse, all of that, So no, they would ask, okay, what else? What else? Because also we're taking on more money, by the way, than what we signed Corbin Carroll. Like, it's not apples to apples. And so no, I think the Diamondbacks just laugh and then hang up on you, and then you have to call them again with a better offer, because they're just, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way.
Oh man, that's so tough. The fact that we're even having this conversation is crazy.
Although
all of it's unfolded.
I know it's how topsy-turvy is the world. I will say, in this hypothetical scenario, the Rays, if everything comes back and, hey, Wander can play in 2024, I feel like that actually gives Wander a longer leash.
Okay.
With the Rays uniform, because
does it matter if, hey, he reached a plea agreement or a private settlement, undisclosed settlement with the victim or victims, or, depending on the wording and the language and the methodology for how he is allowed to play again, I wonder how much of a factor that is.
Let's make it clean. Let's make it clean that, like, hey, it's nothing happened it was all a ruse or whatever. Like, it's something super clean that, like, oh, he's actually not guilty at all, and he's going to be playing again, I feel like that would still give him some more time with the Rays, because that it's like the Correa effect. It's the Altuve effect. It's that you're going to the Springer effect. They're going to carry that. You're going to carry that weight, as the Beatles would say. You're going to carry that weight for a long, long time, and he's going to do that. And the Rays are, and so if you thought, oh, the Rays are not going to be paying Wander Franco $25 million because they're going to, they're going to trade him off before then. Well, now, because of this whole situation, if he comes back, now they have to kind of hold on to him, because 29 other GMs are going to be like, that's your problem, bruv. We're not doing that unless you basically give it to him, and we don't have to. We give you the ham sandwich. And the Rays are not going to do that. They would rather just, hey, what's that saying? Better the devil that you know than the one you don't.
Right. Sure.
That's probably what they would go like, well, we're not going to give up Wander for a ham sandwich. No way. Like, we're just going to be paying him.
It's a lot to consider for sure. Moving along here, Big Blue fan says, give them Vlau and Glasnow plus a AAA prospect of their choice, and I'm good. So any AAA prospect, any guy that I guess finished the season in Durham, he would be okay with giving up.
Come on.
I don't think that would quite do it. I mean, if Glasnow was on a multi-year deal and Brandon Lau could stay healthy, and I mean, there is Carson Williams in AAA. That's really all I can think of off the top of my head, but I think it might take a little bit more than that to get the deal done. Brian says he's already better than all three of those guys combined. Yeah, that's kind of the idea, is you have to give up 3, 4, 5 guys to acquire a player of his caliber. And then a YouTube comment we got from Cody Robbins says, maybe Paredes, Glasnow, Aranda, and Bradley for Carroll, and maybe convince them to throw in Longo for Walls.
Okay. All right. I like that. Was that Cody?
Yeah, that was Cody.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I still don't think that Paredes, Glasnow, Aranda, and Bradley would be enough.
No,
right?
I don't think so either. Again, I think we're closer with that organic Bradley, Boz, Caminero from yesterday. And even BTV says, nah, this is an underpay. So, it's the off season, folks. We can get into it.
We can have fun. We can banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Blockbuster trades happen. Not saying this type of blockbuster trade is going to happen, but I think there's going to be strings pulled one way or another. Shocking things happen throughout the course of a baseball offseason and a baseball season for that matter.
Yeah. And again, the 40-man roster episode that we're going to be doing, maybe it was Pete on the YouTubes mentioned that they were excited about the 40-man roster coming up, and that we should do maybe like a draft screen share scenario. And I was like, okay, so I got to go back to how we did that last season. I have to go check the archives and see how we did it, because I think we did like 3 episodes, didn't we, for it?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, I know that we went pretty in depth in that, so we might have to go back into the archives. What I can tell you is that to get you prepared and feeling good and confident and ready for that, you probably have to have your bird dogs on. You probably have to be in the right mindset. Deion Sanders once said, and is famous for it, look good, feel good, play good, they pay good, live good. I think it was something to that effect.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to wear your bird dogs right now, I don't know what else. But you know what? If you need some more push, I can tell you that those bird dogs have stretch khaki fabric that are designed to make you look so good. They actually fit slimmer through the thigh, and they give you a truly sculpted look. They basically do this exact same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. And no more of wearing those shorts made of stiff, restricting cotton. No more of that. Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki pants, but stretch So you get a way slimmer fit, and you don't have to sacrifice any movement. You do yoga, you're fine with that. You're gonna go to play golf, you're good with that. You're gonna go meet some friends, you're good. You're going to maybe watch the Bolts play, you're good. You're gonna be watching. You're gonna go to Raymond James and watch Mayfield bake some W's. Maybe not against the Detroit Lions though.
Yeah,
and
you're
gonna be
that was. And I think they even used the term clunker, believe it or not, in response to that game.
Kevin, what do I always say? When the offense that you provide is just field goals, we're not going to be feeling so good. So today, make yourself feel good like I am today. Venezuela won against Chile 3-0. I'm feeling good, and I'm wearing my bird dogs, and you should too. So today, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB, and guess what? You are going to get a free water bottle with any purchase. You heard me right. And we've said it before. The tumbler. Here you go. YouTube people, you can see it. We got it for free. You can get a free water bottle with any purchase by going to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB or use promo code LockedOnMLB at checkout, and you get a free water bottle with your order. So you won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
Do we have time to get into my playoff scenario, or are we going to have to save that? I'm putting it to you.
Can you do it in 7 minutes?
Can I do it in 7 minutes? Sure. Here's my point. I think really it's pretty simple.
Okay.
I think we should expand playoffs, not add in more teams, but just extend those preliminary series. Do what the NHL does. Do what the NBA does. Best of 7. Best of 7 across the board. From wild card to division series, championship series, of course, and World Series. The longest season in all of sports, the most games in all of sports, and you have shorter playoffs than the NBA and NHL, respectively. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to start small, okay, fine. Then make the wild card series best of 5, or fine, leave it best of 3. But once you hit the division series, that has to be best of 7. So that's really the basis of my point. And I'm kind of getting to the thinking that baseball might look to adjust or maneuver the way the playoffs are structured. We've already seen that once or a couple times already, but we've seen the hit and success that they've had with pitch clocks. I mean, games are 24 minutes faster on average. The limiting defensive shifts. Overall batting average is up to 248 this season. Larger bases allowed for an increase from 1.0 to 1.4, and success rate jumping from 75 to 80%, and total attendance surpassing 70 million for the first time since 2017. 26 of 30 teams reporting increases. That's all according to the New York Post. All that said, I say that to say this, is that Rob Manfred and the powers that be, the officials at Major League Baseball, and maybe the ownership as well, they're probably thinking, we can't make a wrong move here. We have everybody, eating out of the palm of our hand. So they're hitting a lot of dingers right now. So I think that this might be the time to change course, especially when you had, 3 teams that won at least 100 games get eliminated way more quickly than expected between the Orioles, the Dodgers, and the Braves. The Orioles, people don't really care so much about, but the Dodgers and Braves, those are name brands. And you want to try to see those, baseball wants to see those teams make it deeper into the playoffs than not into the playoffs. So really my point and my thinking is you got to find a way to not totally devalue the 6-month, 162 game season. And I understand the playoffs, it's still going to be a crapshoot at the end of the day, and in most cases, but give the higher seed and the teams that really earned it more chances and more opportunities, and to really show your depth and your pitching staff in whatever else you bring to the table. And maybe something has to be worked out with giving those higher seeded teams an additional home game or something like that. I'm for whatever recognizes and rewards those teams that grinded and earned and really fought and clawed their way to winning, 99 or 100 games versus 84 games, for instance.
I love the more games. That's number one.
Okay.
But let me red team this a little bit. Let me devil advocate this here. Number one, when you're adding more games, my issue I have two issues with that. Number one, I cannot stand more day games for playoffs. That doesn't exist. Okay. So more games. I need them to stop being at 1 p.m., 3 p.m. That is bogus. I don't understand. Like, just choose a game to watch.
Right.
Just choose a game to. I don't understand this whole like affinity for like. I know what the affinity is. It's dollars. But like, are you really missing out by you? Well,
that's the other thing too, is increased revenue as well for the league with more playoffs. More playoffs is king. That's what NCAA is doing with college football. Yeah, let's expand the playoffs, which is smart. The fact that they actually implemented a playoff format and they put that into play. So I get your point. I get that.
But the give and take is then give us actual prime time. And if not prime time, then 5 p.m. has to be like the earliest game for that. So that's my number one with more games. Number two, my issue with more games is, so you are telling me that you win your division, you win the AL East, you beat the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Jays, the Orioles, you win 100+ games, and now you have to sit your pretty bottom for 10 days, losing timing
that
for
is the challenging part.
Jose Siri, a Yandy Diaz, a Randy Arozarena. I mean, that goes off quick. So that is my biggest thing. But hey, guess what, Kevin? I can help you with that. I can help you fix that issue.
How do we fix that issue?
I think you do that by, hey, buddy, if you won your last game and now you're in the playoffs and you're a wild card team, don't celebrate too much. You're playing tomorrow.
Okay.
That's it. You're playing tomorrow. Or
so the wild card series, is it I mean, are you talking about basically eliminating the best of 3 wild card series and just having it a 1 game wham bam thank you ma'am, and then you move on to the real stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the wild card, that's and not only so I think Sunday, right? Sunday they ended the game. Monday is the wild card game, and it's only 1. Okay. And hey, you lost the division. You could have won it. I'm sorry, you get 1. And then you lose it, you win it. You're playing on Tuesday. Yeah. So
no, I'm with you there. I'm all for making it more challenging for those wild cards or those bottom seeded teams, and making it as difficult and challenging of a trek to get through. And
because now the division
doing all you can to reward the division winners.
And now the division winners, they played on Sunday, relaxed, knowing they were the division winners. Hopefully, most of the time, it can happen like just this year where it was decided on Sunday. Fine, but they get Monday to rest, which they are accustomed to in a baseball season to get a Monday off regularly, more regularly than other days. And boom, they're playing on Tuesday for their playoff series at home, because if they're a division winner, boom, they're playing at home. Or if they're the top wild card, they're playing at home. I feel like that would be
really better. It's almost not even a wild card. It's just a play-in game to make it to the playoffs, more or less. Which, you know what? At the end of the day, I would be okay with, as long as we can make so the other series that would immediately go into a best of 7 divisional series.
Exactly. Okay. So I'm taking away the 3 wild card game series to just making it 1, but that potential loss of 2 games, I'm giving it to you in the potential of having a division series last instead of 5, 7.
Yeah. And there is something to be said for the excitement of win or go home, having that one big game, and then you get into the real meat and potatoes of a 7-game series.
Yeah.
So I think we solved it. There we go. We problem solved. I think something will and may be done in the future at some point with all this. I just just seeing the best of 3, the best of 5 is like, just make it best of 7 across the board as best possible. Do something to really to help yourselves out there. So, all right, that's what I've got. If you've got a comment on YouTube or social media, hit us up. If you think you've got a better idea for a playoff format, sure, we'll listen to you. We'll hear you out with that. So, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the MLB playoffs. The Diamondbacks and Phillies are still playing right now. I don't know what the score is. I know that Trey Turner made an error and then hit a home run, I think. And then
it's Phillies. That's the Phillies right there. Yeah. Error and then a home run. Yeah.
Yep, that's their modus operandi for sure. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.